Today we are going to look at the 2024 breakout stars in WWE. I'm not going to really touch NXT, just keep it to the main roster. We're going to start with Big Bronson Reed. This dude breaking things was very synonymous with Bronson Reed in 2024. Let me tell you something. This dude, he was a champion in NXT, actually. I think North American champion. He's been on the roster for a minute. At one point, I think he was about to qualify, or he did qualify for the Elimination Chamber match at the beginning of the year. The guy was fired. The guy was rehired. Don't matter. It don't matter. It wasn't until August, after SummerSlam, that we took him serious. I mean, he was even in an Intercontinental match with Sami Zayn. But no, for real, he blindsided Seth Rollins one night and just tsunamied him, I think 6 times, 5 to 7 times. And after that, well, I'll tell you what, he was a made man. Since that moment, it was just tsunami after tsunami. He even made Braun Strowman relevant and interesting. They had a huge back and forth match. He jumped off of something onto Braun Strowman onto a car, and it was crazy and amazing. He just kept doing it. He actually had 2 matches with Seth freaking Rollins, you know, the guy who just main evented the last 10 years of WWE. Yeah, he gets into a feud with him. He loses, but he still looks extremely strong, and then he wins. By winning, he joins the Bloodline. Now, I wish he wouldn't have done this at War Games, but he did. It is a moment, and it's probably going to get him, I don't know, admiration backstage. He jumped off the steel cage even. Now, that is the only thing that probably is holding him back at this point, is that, well, now he's out on injury, and yeah, that sucks because he's in this breakout part of his career, and you don't want to derail the breakout. But it's been derailed. If he comes back fully healed, I think he can pick up where he left off. And yeah, no matter what though, now his name is on everybody's tongue, and we're anxious to see his return. Honorable mention, Motor City Machine Guns. You could argue that after 20 years of fighting and scrapping to get to WWE, well, their 3rd match, they won the tag team titles. That's like, you know, the highest you can go, right? And so you got to say, well, they made it. They're breakout stars. They're new to WWE and 3 matches in, but nah, I don't feel they got that connection with the crowd yet. I don't feel the gamble paid off. You know, we gambled on just putting the belts on some unknown quantities to the WWE universe. They're very well known to the internet and TNA, and even myself, I knew who they were, and they are a good tag team, but to the WWE universe, they were unknown, and they haven't connected, so I'm not putting them on the list of breakout stars. They'll have to wait to 2025. I will put Jade Cargill on. You're like, Jade Cargill, she's been on the roster forever. She's been on the roster since Royal Rumble 2024. She just started really early in the year, and we have such low attention spans now. We forget that Jade Cargill's rookie year in WWE is literally this year. And it just feels like she's been part of the roster for a very long time, and really, no, she had a really good performance at Royal Rumble, and then she just went on to team with Bianca and Naomi at WrestleMania, and then Bianca and her just had tag team matches left and right. But you know what? I gotta say, this was a banner breakout year for her. It just didn't have the impact of the sudden impact, actually, of Bronson Reed. Because like I told you with Bronson Reed, he was there for half the year, just irrelevant. But Jade, she just came in swinging, and then she just became very relevant and steady throughout the year. It's kind of like a slow burn breakout year for her, but yeah, she feels like an active participant on the main roster, so I gotta hand it to her. She broke out in 2024. Honorable mention, Karrion Kross. Karrion Kross, very, very surprised that I actually have turned a corner on this guy and starting to like him. He's been around on the main roster for like a couple years now, and I've had no connection with this guy whatsoever, but slowly but surely, as he has turned the New Day against Big E and The Miz against R-Truth, I've been kind of being like, all right, I'm kind of digging this. I will say this, though. He hasn't had that big moment yet. He has just started to turn the corner. 2025 could be a make or break year for Karrion Kross. He's there, he's ready, but he hasn't quite broke out yet. But don't feel bad, Karrion Kross, because 2024 was not my breakout year as well. But WrestleChop will break out in 2025 with you guys, you girls, your help. I'm going to entice you a little with this belt right here. All you got to do to win it is comment below, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification, and maybe give me a thumbs up. And why am I doing this? I'm trying to become a full-time breakout YouTube star. And yeah, I just want to, you know what? I just want to talk wrestling all the time, stream wrestling all the time, do wrestling content day, night, all the time. Someone once asked me, well, if you love wrestling so much, why do you want to do it for a living? And I'm like, well, what kind of question is that? I will eat, sleep, drink, wrestling all the time. And in the process, you can win this belt. So comment below. I'll pick a random video, free shipping, free everything. Let's 10,000 subscribers. Once I hit 10,000 subscribers, I'm going to give it away. Our next breakout for 2024, Bron Breakker. Bron Breakker, you could argue, well, his breakout was in NXT, but we're just gonna kind of forget NXT exists. It's just main roster here, and he showed up, and I don't know, he showed up on SmackDown, and it was kind of very lackluster. But then he came to Raw, and he came to Raw very hungry, and he had changed, and he just went after everything. I don't like that he lost to Sami Zayn. I wish he was undefeated right now on the main roster, but be that as it may, he's been doing a great job. No, I'm glad he lost to Jey Uso. I don't think he should have lost to Sami Zayn, though. But yeah, no, he's just really just, he has it. He doesn't even have to come into his own. It's like he started off as a rookie and a 10-year veteran at the same time. The guy just gets it. He just gets it, and, you know, obviously he's getting great advice probably from his dad, Rick Steiner, and his uncle, Big Papa Pump, Scott Steiner. But regardless, he's taking that advice or whatever kind of training that he got beforehand, and he's applied it to his craft, and he's just having a banner year, just a great year. And we all know, we all see that this guy is a future WrestleMania main eventer. We're just kind of just waiting. We're just kind of saying, let's just hold off just a little bit longer and let him run wild in the mid-card, because once he bumps up, once WWE has finally said, okay, put him in the main event, well, then all bets are off at that point. But yeah, he showed up on Raw and instantly made a name for himself. I would say he's kind of like Jade Cargill's breakout in that we're just kind of like, okay, Bron Breakker, he's here now, but he has the connection and everything, and I would say 2024, a very good year for Mr. Breakker. Honorable mention, Drew McIntyre. I really wish I could put Drew McIntyre on this list, but I guess I can't, because the guy's had multiple breakout years if you think about it. I mean, yeah, he was the chosen one way back when, and then he was in NXT, became the champion after he got fired, but then, you know, he comes back and he beats Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. That was probably his breakout year when he actually knocked Brock out of the Royal Rumble, but he just feels so different now in 2024. So I guess he can't be a breakout star, but I can say that he feels like it's just a whole new character that broke out of Drew McIntyre. But I guess I can say it's his best year of all time. That said, can't be a breakout year, but I just wanted to throw him out there because, man, he's doing such good work. And now it's Tiffy time, because she definitely broke out in 2024. I think she could have had a bigger year. She had won the Money in the Bank. She definitely could have had a bigger year, but I think they're kind of holding off to WrestleMania, which is kind of, I don't know. I don't like that. I mean, she had two great opportunities that passed her by at Crown Jewel and at War Games, when she literally had champions just at her feet, at her disposal, that she could have pinned. But regardless, she has just made a name for herself, not through any big, great moment like Bronson Reed, but just through consistent character work and a showcase of her abilities in the ring. It's undeniable that she just gets it. Kind of like Bron Breakker. She just gets it, and you can see it, and she just very much a connection with the crowd. Even though she's a heel, everybody's like, it's Tiffy time, and yeah, she seems like she should be a stuck-up Barbie doll, and yet, nope, everybody just loves her. The Wyatt Six are an honorable mention. They had one of the most spectacular debuts. They completely massacred the entire production stage and Gorilla, but But after that, they kind of slowly but surely went downhill. They had like 3 great video packages of Uncle Howdy and Eric Rowan, and I feel they should have just kept that going. They could have had really good interviews for at least 7 weeks. Or no, 5 weeks, 5 weeks. And yeah, I don't know why they didn't just keep those going. Instead, they got into a feud with Chad Gable and they won, but then they were taken off TV. And I actually don't mind that because you know, the Wyatts are like, you can't have them every week. To overexpose them would definitely be to ruin them, but at the same time, it did halt the momentum that they were building. And yeah, I don't know. It just seems like something has kind of flatlined with the Wyatt 6. So yes, they have one of the greatest moments of 2024, but as breakout stars, I think they need something else. I'm not sure what it is even. Maybe just a really good feud they can sink their teeth in, but I don't know. Something. I don't know what it is though. Ask me what it is. This is just breakout stars, and they're an honorable mention because they definitely have the moment. They just need that momentum though. They need the momentum to just keep going. Next up is my personal favorite, and I wish I could put at the top of the list, and some could argue is at the top of the list, but I gotta put it. I'll just put it right now. I'm doing these in no particular order. However, I will say the last one as who I feel is the biggest breakout star, but my personal favorite is Jacob Fatu. He had a debut of debuts, literally taking out the 3 top baby faces of SmackDown, 3 of the top 4 baby faces of WWE completely. He enters in after the Bloodline got beaten down by Cody, Randy Orton, and Kevin Owens. Jacob Fatu came in and manhandled all 3 of them. I have never seen 3 top baby faces get beat down by one guy so effectively, destructively. I don't know. Jacob destroyed. He killed. And ever since then, he's just been like on a roll, and he has taken a little bit of a step back, and that's kind of why maybe he's not at the number 1 spot, but it makes sense. He's not the leader of the faction. He's supposed to be an enforcer, so he's just kind of there, but he maximizes his minutes. I'll tell you that much. No matter what, when he is on air, he's doing something, whether he's praying or he's walking or he's just looking at you. Everything is menacingly. And after he beat up those 3, every confrontation he got with someone was a moment. He stared down Roman. It was a moment. Jey Uso got in his face. It was a moment. Heck, Bron Breakker got in his face, and that was a moment. These are 2 just new dudes on the roster, and yet both of their auras, I don't want to just exclude Bron Breakker here, but both of their auras have just connected with the crowd so much that it's like, holy crap. Jacob Fatu, definitely a breakout, complete unknown to breakout star of 2024. And the best part is, he can go on the mic. They're holding him back. He has more movesets. They are literally holding him back right now. And yeah, like, it's going to be good when he can just be fully unleashed. And now that I think about it, I'm going to have to honorable mention Tunga Loa and Tama Tonga. They've been doing great work too, but, they've definitely been overshadowed by Jacob Fatu. So I'll honorable mention those guys. Hey, they've been in primetime spots in main events left and right, and so you can't say that they didn't have a good year, but I guess they haven't fully connected with the crowd like Jacob has. So Jacob is definitely breakout star. He's my personal favorite breakout star of 2024, but I got 2 more that you could argue probably a little bit better, or at least one of them is better, and then a lot of you will just hate on me for picking that one. Let's go to the next one. We have 2 more to do, and the next one's gonna be Chelsea Green. She's a 10-year overnight success story. She's been at it for a very long time. She's been in WWE before. She's gotten fired before. She's been on medical leave like 2 or 3 times. She just had very bad luck whenever she came to WWE. But this time round, when she returned at the Royal Rumble. She was out in like 10 seconds and everybody thought, oh, she's going to get buried. But no, she's like, nah, people remembered that. People remembered that. And I'll tell you what, what do I remember from that women's Royal Rumble? I remember Jade Cargill returning and putting Nia on her back. I remember Bayley winning, and I remember Chelsea Green getting taken out in 10 seconds. It's all about being remembered. It's all about memories. And then throughout the year, she has steadily stolen the scene in every single opportunity she got. And now look at her, the first ever U.S. Women's Champion. And I'll say this, Chelsea Green, she's a veteran, but this was her year that she broke out. And the #1 breakout star of 2024 is Sikoa. Sorry. I actually, like I said, would rather put Jacob Fatu here, but let's just look at Solo. It's 2024. The guy started off as the enforcer of the bloodline to the main villain, the main antagonist of WWE. Everything kind of revolves around his decisions. He wants a title match, he'll have a title match. He wants to keep Roman out of everybody's stories, he'll do that because you know what? He has the Ula Fala. Roman Reigns, he's the most important person in WWE, and so, or Cody, but either way, the moment Solo says something, both of them kind of are looking at him. Solo Sikoa has become the true threat of WWE. Wherever he goes, people are going to kind of cower just a little and put a little bit more respect on his name now in 2024 than all the previous years. Yes, he's been around for a minute, but this is the year in which he stepped up. And I'll tell you this, it was a little touch and go, but after Bad Blood, the guy just put his personality into his character, and he is as good as he has ever been, and just the best he's ever been. And this is a guy who had to follow Roman Reigns, the longest reigning champion since what? Hulk Hogan? In the 80s, Solo Sikoa, an almost unknown, took over the bloodline. Almost anybody would have failed in that situation. Can you imagine? The only time I've ever seen a really popular group kind of handed off to be a success was like DX. You could argue the Nation of Domination, but I wouldn't even say that because once The Rock took the Nation, The Rock became more popular and he kind of just went off on his own very soon after getting the Nation. But DX definitely was DX after Shawn Michaels, and the Bloodline somehow, some way survived without Roman Reigns. And that's not just that, though. They thrived to the point where you could have main eventing, Bloodline versus Bloodline. Can you imagine Solo Sikoa main eventing being a threat to Roman Reigns? And yet, this dude did it. He's definitely a breakout in 2024, and I would say the biggest breakout because he's the biggest threat in all of WWE. So he's my breakout of the year. And guys, girls, let me know who your breakout of the year is. Let me know. And don't put Kevin Owens or somebody who's already connected with the crowd. I know, I did that with Drew McIntyre, and I was cheating. I should have done it. I'm not going to edit him out because I feel he should be in more videos. But for real, it was cheating to put Drew in. I'm talking about people who have finally connected with the crowd and put some reasoning behind it too. Don't just be like, Io Sky. Tell me why Io Sky. And yeah, she probably should have been honorable mention at the very least. Maybe next year though, because she has started to connect with the crowd. Next year. Regardless, video is done. Have a good day, boys and girls, and I'll see you, what day is it? So I'll see you for the SmackDown live stream and other stuff too. I'll see you around.